How'd you not know?
Maybe 2 pieces of equipment. Yeah.
Seems like what, an hour?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been over there. I drove past it, that's it.
Go tell him. He'll probably don't forget to switch down. Yeah, so like clicking like 1, 2, 10, 9.
Hi, thank you for everybody for attending tonight. Got a large crowd. At this time, I'd like to ask you to silence your cell phones and remind the council members to keep your microphones on because we're getting more complaints about the recordings not being able to hear, and maybe set up to your microphone if you have something to say in it. I'd appreciate it. First thing I'd like to do is ask Chief Page if he will offer our invocation.
Heavenly Father God, Lord, we come to you. We thank you for your blessings. God, we ask that you be with our council and others that make decisions affecting our city. God, we ask for your blessing of rain upon our dry land. God, we just ask these things in your precious Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item on the agenda is items of community interest. First thing I want to tell you is that the City Hall will be closed on September the 4th, Monday for Labor Day, and the following weekend is second Monday weekend. I believe there's a circus at the Community Center on September the 5th. It's open to the public. Next item is City Manager Report. Do you have one tonight, Bert? Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do now is open a public hearing at 6:01 for the 2023 tax rate. This public hearing is to inform the public of the proposed tax rate of 54.3 cents per $100 in property value. This is the same rate as last year. Do you have any comments from the public on our tax rate? Well, if not, the meeting in which the tax rate will be adopted will be September the 11th, City Council meeting, 6 p.m. in this room. So we'll close the public hearing at 6:02. On the consent agenda items, we have added tonight a financial statement. I'd like to ask Pamela to come forward to inform the council of the financial statement.
Oh, good evening, Mayor Burris and City Council. In front of you, you'll see a snapshot of current and projected to last year's. You'll see that our revenues in our utility fund is up over 80,000 compared to last year. Our expenditures are also a little up, only 29,000. But overall, our profit with revenue over expenditures in our utility fund is up over $416,000. So that's quite an increase. So very proud of that. Everybody's doing their job well and trying to keep their expenditures to a curve. In our general fund, also, you'll see right now that also on page 13, if you look, then our revenues are up 1.636 overall. That's 1 million. So right now, our revenues are over expenditures at 1.636, and we've collected 96% of our sales tax. So for the next 2 months, we won't collect a whole lot of revenue, and that'll even out by the end of the year. So overall, we're doing a wonderful job. Year to date, utilities and general fund were up almost 2 million. But like I said, we collected most of our revenue, so our expenditures over the next 2 months will even that out a little bit. If you remember, in our audit last year, Yeah, I think in our general fund, we brought in 330,000 with revenue over expenditures. Our fund balance at that time, we're sitting about 1.9 million. So right now, we're up about 33% in our general fund compared to our fund balance, which is excellent. And our enterprise fund, it's real close, it's at 30%. So overall, auditors like to see anywhere from 30 to 33%. Last year, we set about 28, 29% at the close of the year. So that's our goal, is to bring those up a couple points, and right now we're on task.
Does any council members have questions for Finance Director?
So, our expenditures for the rest of the year, do we expect increases, or are we already budgeting for additional overhead minus what we've already had?
We
in the
will
budget?
put forth, next meeting, I will put forth a ordinance for a little bit of budget amendments. We went over in some line items, but also the revenue is there to offset just that. Grants came in, travel expenditures that are reimbursed. Most of the time, those expenditures were offset by extra revenue.
Do you think we'll still be in a balanced situation, or maybe positive?
We will be in a balanced situation with a little bit above.
Okay.
And
Anybody
if
else?
not, I carry a big stick.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody else? Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.
I'd like to bring to your attention a correction in the minutes on the resolution 2023-28. There was a correction from wastewater plant to City Hall / EOC generator. It's just a typo. So with that, let's go to the trying to find them. Too many pages this time. All right, so the approval of the minutes will include the write-offs for utility and the write-offs for library. Those numbers are also in your packet. So with all that and the finance report, I would entertain a motion to accept consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Host, Sproles, Gunner,
Aye.
Shaw.
I have a question about what's the total number of write-off for this year versus last year? Is that in here? We know that, or?
No, Councilman Shaw, I have to report back to the council at the next meeting. I don't know if you want to look at that right now. The reason why that's a little bit higher than normal is we had 3 or 4 residents that passed away.
Yeah.
So, I know it's significantly lower than last year and prior to the year before, but I just don't want to.
Yeah, that was my expectation, so,
Okay.
but I'll,
Next meeting, I'll report to the council.
thank you.
Yeah, just kind of reiterate that the finance department's done an excellent job of collecting a lot of those accounts that hadn't been collected in the past, so we appreciate that effort, so.
Yeah, I agree totally, just on looking at one time to the next, I'd like to know the total number. Yeah, I love the numbers. Can't wait. I'll vote yes.
Thank you. Bates,
Aye.
Host,
Aye.
Sproles,
Aye.
Love. All right.
The library fund did an excellent job of collecting their money.
Next item on the agenda is old business. I don't think we have anything under there. So we'll move to new business. And we have a guest here tonight from Helen Farabee Center.
Hi, I'm Denise Truax, and I work over at the Helen Farabee Center. This is my supervisor, Andy Martin. Sorry, he's going to do the facts and the figures, but I worked for the company for 26 years. I've raised a family with this company. I've worked in the Bowie office since 1999. Currently, we have early childhood intervention, we have substance abuse services, we have peer provider services, child and adolescent services, we have a nurse, we have psychiatric services, we have IDD services and patient assistance services for our clients who can't afford their medications. And I have 3 clerks. One of our caseworkers, Ashley McCracken, is here, and one of our clerks, Cindy Hanks, is here. They've been with us for many, many years, very dedicated employees. I just kind of wanted to give y'all a few examples of the type of clientele that we serve. I think some of y'all are probably familiar, but some of the individuals that come to us have been coming to the center for more than 25 years, more than since I've been there myself. They used to go to the basement of the auditorium for their mental health treatment. So we have come a long way over these last years. A lot of times, and it's not knocking a family doctor, but it's hard sometimes for family doctors to be able to get the stability that some of our clients need. So they come to us because we specialize in that. Now that some of them are very, very stable, they still choose to come see us because we're their security blanket. We've kept them in their homes and out of hospitals, out of nursing homes. You know, we can spend a lot of time with them, you know, where a family doctor can't. A lot of our type of clientele cannot go out of the city limits to get private counseling and private psychiatric services. Number one, they may not have the transportation. Number two, they don't want to drive in the big cities. And number three, they're just really comfortable with us. So we have several clients. I do have a client that is nearly 90 years old that still comes in to see me. Another example is back in June, it was over 100 degrees, and Cindy Hanks and I were working late, and I had a client that walked from Clay County to come see me. And it wasn't like this side of Clay County, it was the other side of Clay County. He got there a little after 5. We gave him water. We keep some snacks on hand. We're also in the process of making some bags for the homeless. And there are homeless, as we know, in our city here. And he said he would find his way back in the morning for an intake. He slept at our office all night and came in. I got there at 7:20, and he followed me right in the door, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I didn't have a ride back home, and I didn't want to miss the 8 o'clock appointment to get my intake because I need your help." For our kiddos, we go into the schools. We attend ARD meetings. We're advocating for the parents. We advocate for the kids. We have a child psychiatric nurse practitioner that sees our children every Wednesday. So if we can start with the kiddos, it may lead to some preventative services as adults. We go into the homes, we go into parks, nursing homes, pastures, jails, hospitals for crisis assessment to help individuals with their mental health disorders so they can find stability and hope to improve their quality of life. And I just want to thank all of you for considering a request to assist us with that monetary contribution.
Speaking of that, I'll give you some context for the reason we're asking for that. The way that the center is funded, and by the way, Denise is, we're very proud of Denise and the work that she does. She is a local expert. She also covers our center in Decatur. And don't know what I'd do without her at the helm of that place. In Wichita Falls, we don't go into pastures, you know. So this is a very unique setting, and she knows exactly what to do. And I'm thankful for everybody at that center. We cover 19 counties, and the way that we're funded is through a chunk of money from the state, which we call general revenue. And then the state tells us in a contract, we must go to local county commissioners' courts and request matching funds, and it's a little over 10% of that lump of money that the state gives us. However, there is nothing that compels a commissioner's court to actually give us the money. They have to look at their own budget naturally and figure out what they can do. So, for example, Montague County, the number that we ask for from a county is based on the percentage of clients that are served in that county. So for Montague, that resulted in a number of people, which translated to a dollar amount, 113,000, I think it was, yeah. And they were able to budget 16,000. That's quite a bit less than what we request based on the contract that we go out and get matching funds. And that's the story in pretty much every county except maybe 2 or 3 who are actually able to meet that match. In Wichita Falls, they're budgeted, or we're asking for like 600,000 and we get 200,000. And that comes from a combination of the county putting up some money and asking the city of Wichita Falls to also put up about the same amount. So between them, they have 210,000 that goes to us. Historically, the city of Bowie had given annually some funds to Helen Farabee. That's in addition to what the county was given. That's been the case. It started, well, Denise knew it in '99 when she started. I don't know how long it had been going on. But then at some point, I think it was $4,000, and then that amount was doubled. Then during, I think, an interim mayor situation, that was removed. So what we're asking for is for you to consider within your budget to reinstate something like that for us. It helps us, in addition to the county contribution, get closer to bringing in those funds that we're required to go get. In addition to all the great services Denise does and mentioned, we do crisis services in this county, and we do a lot of them. In fact, I just met her a while ago, and she's on the phone coordinating a crisis with APS. We do that stuff constantly. It's a 24-hour thing that we do 7 days a week, and it's what we consider an important safety net for citizens of the city and counties that we serve. I'll be happy to answer any other questions if you have some.
Anybody have any questions?
So does the county donate money to you guys as well?
Yeah, Montague donates 16,000.
16,000?
Yep.
And how long have they been doing that?
Since at least 2001, all the counties that we serve signed an interlocal agreement that said they will participate in this sort of match process. None of them signed that they would promise to meet the match that we requested, but they understood the match process and would participate. So that's when that started.
And you guys mentioned Clay County. Does Clay County utilize this office as well? Or is it Wichita?
Wichita Falls.
Okay.
We serve out of Wichita, Archer, and Clay. That's one center.
But
Yeah.
this office just serves Montague?
Yes, sir.
Denise, do you happen to remember what the amount was that the city used to give? Back years ago when I was mayor, I know that every year we gave a certain amount of money, but I don't remember the dollar amount.
When I started as the manager here in '99, it was 4,000, and then I came to one of these meetings and y'all gave 8,000. I didn't ask, but y'all gave it, and then there was kind of a shuffle. I don't remember if it was 6 or 7 years ago. And I will be honest, I don't think that I had enough of the numbers to prove how many people lived inside of the Bowie city limits. I just had pulled numbers from the area codes that we serve within Montague County, Bowie, all of that. And so, and there was some things going on with the budget for the city. And so that money couldn't be given to us. And it's been 6 or 7 years. And
So I have some exact dates here for you, Jason. 2001 to 2004, this note says we paid $6,000. Then 2005 to 2015, we paid $8,000. And in 2015 was when it was not renewed.
2015.
Yes.
thank you.
No problem. Sandy's a remarkable filing system, remarkable. So do you guys have any questions for them? Would you like to discuss this?
I'm a huge proponent of you guys. I think, I've, my own family, my son has used the speech services and TCI and all that. And there's no doubt there's a passion and a need for it. I'm having a hard time with the government, funding that as well. I'm more than happy to make a personal donation myself, and I think, you know, a lot of other people might be, but to add it to a line item in our budget is getting tough for me. So, I mean, not out of consideration for me, I don't think, but it's definitely a tough sell, I think, right now where we're at.
Any other council members? So I'm going to ask for a motion. I need a motion from the floor to yay or nay, or to table it for further discussion.
Yeah.
Well, the $8,000 was,
Yeah. Well, this, the way we're doing this, I think we ought to table this so we can have more discussion about it instead of coming up with a dollar amount right now, so we can actually have opportunity to speak to our finance person, and make sure if we are able to do it, that we get the correct amount out there, and that's, would be my
I
motion.
agree. I second that.
okay, so Gunner, Shaw, Post,
Aye.
Bates,
Aye.
Gunner,
Aye.
Sproles,
Aye.
Shaw,
Yes.
Love. Okay, so we've just tabled it, which means it comes back to our next meeting, and they'll be able to get their questions answered from the finance director as to where we set in our budget.
Now, I think y'all guys are doing
Thank you very much
Awesome
for
job.
everything.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Yeah, all right. Next item on the agenda is the resolution authorizing participation in the State of Texas Smart Buy membership program of the Texas Comptroller Public Accounts. This is because of you, Guy, right? Would you please come to the podium and tell them what this is about?
Thank you. The police department, when we happen to have to arrest somebody that's driving intoxicated, and we don't use a breathalyzer or they refuse, I don't know, it's a long process where sometimes we have to draw blood. We have to get a search warrant through our judge and draw blood for these folks. And you have to use a particular item that we used to always buy from the Department of Public Safety. You can't use anything else. It's prepackaged. They will no longer sell it to agencies. They now require that we go through this Smart Buy program and purchase them. That's the only way we can get these. So we're requesting participation in the program just so we can buy blood tubes to conduct driving while intoxicated investigations.
when you
That's
were,
a short story.
okay, what were you paying when you was buying them from the department?
Kent, do you know how much we were paying? Kent, Captain Stagg usually buys them, so I'm not sure.
I would say that, we used to buy like 10 kits at a time, and I'd say it was, I want to say in the neighborhood of $200
For 10 kids. The problem, and I don't like this, trust me, I'd rather just
I
keep
understand.
doing
I'm
it the
just
way
trying to-
we've been
I'm just trying
doing
to
it.
figure out a cost here.
Right,
I'm trying to
the problem, I believe, is that we have to pay for a membership with a Smart Buy program. So we're gonna be charged a membership every year, whether we buy any or not. We're used to, we only bought them when we needed them.
Right.
And they do have a shelf life, there is expiration dates, you can't just keep them forever. So we try not to buy too many at one time, so we're not wasteful. So I would much prefer to, the state didn't change it, we kept doing it the way we used to, but this is our only option they give us.
And the membership fee is $100?
I believe it's $100. Now, it's not just for the police department, I believe, and Pam can tell you, I believe every department, there's other things that I'm not done research on that the other departments can benefit from that.
Okay.
I don't believe it's $100 per department, it's just $100, and then we benefit, any department has something on there, they can use it too.
What's the system, Smart Buy?
Why they're making you do that way?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think probably more than anything, DPS, it takes a little bit of stuff off of them, they don't have to deal with it.
I see.
It probably saves the Department of Public Safety a little bit of
Does
money.
it change the price of these any?
Do you know what the price would be through the Smart Buy? We haven't gotten that far, because it's our only
Understand.
option, so we're just trying to figure out if we can buy them or not.
We're not tied to this. I mean, we don't have a choice in this.
Right,
We are tied to it.
right.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would entertain a motion to approve resolution participating in the State of Texas Smart Buy Membership Program.
So moved.
Okay, Post was loud. Who was second? Shaw?
Yes.
Got to get louder.
Yes, ma'am.
Bates?
Aye.
Gunner?
Aye.
Shaw?
Yes.
Post?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Love?
Aye.
All right. So our next item on the agenda is to consider the recommendation from the Parks Board on renaming J.C. Park to the City of Bowie Southside Park. Margin, you're here and you're the chairman of that board, so would you like to come to the podium? But you're going to. It's that way. I'm gonna make you go.
Good evening, people. I'm Margin Latham, as most of you know. And you know, some of you, maybe some of you were JCs eons ago. We don't have those anymore, but we still have a beautiful park on the south side of Bowie that is our major thrust, Parks Board right now, to revitalize it. And we feel that it needs to be renamed to the Southside Park. Since we don't have a JC Park, we don't have JCs, it's on the south side, kind of makes good sense, we think. But we couldn't just do it. The mayor made me come up here and ask you as a council if you would rename it for us. But that
Doing
is
my
our
job.
request.
Just doing my job.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
So she is right. There's a parks renaming. You all have that in your packet tonight. It's been confused in the past as being belonging to the church. So I like their
Good point.
idea of their signage to say City of Bowie, Southside Park, so that there's no confusion there, that it definitely belongs to the city.
It's the one on Hutchison Street by the church that has the geodesic dome.
Yes.
So some people don't even know, as you said, that that is City of Bowie property. We thought that on the Parks Board to begin with, that it belonged to the church, so we didn't touch it. I planted 4 trees out there, and I borrowed some water from the church that they didn't know about. And then
They do now.
They do
They do
now.
now.
Probably gonna send us a bill. But no, those trees got mown over, so
So,
that's not a problem anymore. But we would appreciate your considering that renaming.
so, don't blame him, he's here, he'll know you did it. So, okay, then I'm going to entertain a motion to rename the J.C. Park to the City of Bowie Southside Park at the recommendation of the Park Board.
So moved.
Sproles, do I have a second?
A second.
Bates? Love?
Aye.
Gunner?
Aye.
Shaw?
Yes.
Post?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Is that everybody? Bates?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margin. I'm excited.
Okay, as I roll over to page 2, I'm going to take some things out of order because the next discussion is going to be a little lengthy, I think. So what I'd like to do is move up public comments, and I'm pretty sure we have some people in the, yes, sir, Guy Green, would you please come to the podium?
Are you going to arrest Margin?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I hope I don't talk out of turn here, but I feel on my heart I need to say something. So, and I apologize to Bert because he didn't know I'm going to say this, so I hope I don't make him mad. But I understand that you're going to do evaluations on 3 council employees tonight. And I'm also hearing rumors that, and I hope I'm wrong, so I'm praying that I'm wrong, but I'm hearing rumors that some negative things may be directed at Bert. And I would just like to say, in the 27 years that I've worked for the city, and I've worked for 3 different city managers, not as a chief, but as an employee, Bert's the best city manager I've ever worked for. And I just feel like I need to say that. And like I said, I hope that I'm hearing wrong stuff. I'm not accusing anybody because I have no idea if that's true, but I would hate to something to happen and me not be able to say what I feel. So I would just ask, if that is the case, please don't make any decisions tonight. I'm asking you to give the department heads, city employees, an opportunity to have our voice. Obviously, it's your job, not ours, and I'm not asking you to do any certain thing, but just please let us have our voice heard, just so we can be heard. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
I get emotional, so what Guy said, ditto. Bert, I love you. You're one of the hardest working. I knew I'd do this. Thank you for all you've done for the police department. I've been here 50 years, guys. I've never seen anybody work harder than he does. Thank you. I appreciate everything you do. Sorry for the emotion. But when I heard some of the things that I heard today, I knew I had to come and ask y'all, please realize really how hard this guy works and how much I appreciate what he does for the city, for the employees. He's an employee's city manager, and I love him for that. So I just want to say thank you.
Well, I ain't all that good about talking, but Bert's been a good man to me. And I've worked through several city managers, been here going on 46 years, but he's been a good man. Lynetta and me and her knows how long we've been here a while. I had some dandies. Anyway, but main thing, Bert, you got my word.
I worked for the police department for 11 years, and that man right there, I don't care where you see him or what he's doing, he is the same today as he is yesterday. And when I was hospitalized, every day he called to check on me. I haven't worked for anybody like that before. He's a great man. Love you.
My comments are a little bit different on a different topic. I noticed that our code enforcement issue is not on the agenda, and I would like to know why. And it is my understanding that the city secretary, the city judge, and the city code enforcement officer are all appointed by the council. So the code enforcement officer has no contest. He agrees that yes, there was a mistake made in the date, that the building was built in 2021, not 2016. So, we're past that hurdle. So I really don't understand why the judge is not granting a hearing. Somewhere in her oath to the city as an employee, she's not an elected official, she is an employee. She has agreed to uphold all of the city ordinances. And so if that is not happening, I'm not asking for a specific outcome, I'm just asking to be heard. The case will go to small claims court in October, and then it'll go on to district court if there's not appropriate resolution in between that time. So I would like to say, without any other conflict, that the City of Bowie has done their job. So I'm asking you again to please grant a hearing based on the information that I presented last meeting. And on a personal note, we cannot sell our home as long as our neighbor's building is on our property. So we want it moved. So do you have any questions from me?
I'm going to respond to you. I can only respond shortly, but I can correct you. The code enforcement officer does not work for us. He works for Bert. We have 3 employees, the city manager, the city secretary, and the judge. So I will correct you in that area. And we probably will not hear anything as long as you're in a court case.
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with what that involves the City of Bowie. In fact, it's separate, totally separate.
We will not hear anything until after October the 5th.
I will be back.
That's
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Yes, sir.
I don't know if I'm allowed this.
Absolutely. You,
I'm not a resident of Bowie. I haven't worked in Bowie.
You got a gun, you can talk.
My name's Andrew Poole, if you don't know me. All right, I work for Bowie Police Department. I'm a corporal, the patrol division. Not big on public speaking, sorry. I've been in law enforcement for almost 12 years. 6 years here at Bowie. I've worked for 4 city managers, or with 4 city managers, and at least 3 different municipal judges. Bert and Darla are the best judge and city manager I've ever had. I've never had a doubt that they've had our back and that they understand what we go through on a daily basis and what our needs are. So I just want to be a testament to that. Thank you.
thank you.
Hi, I'm Beth Hyatt, the library director. I've been with the city for 14 years. I've also worked under 3 different city managers. And I have to say that Bert is the first city manager that I felt really took me seriously as an actual director of the city of Bowie. When I have questions or concerns, he sits and he listens to me, and he's fair and honest in all my dealings, and he treats the library is truly treated like an actual part of the city for the first time since I've worked for the city. And I may not like his decisions at some point, but he's always fair and honest about the decisions that he hands out. And I think over the years, the city has fallen in disrepair, and he was handed a bad hand. And that's me as a private citizen that lives within the city limits of the city of Bowie. I know there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and he is doing a great job trying to get that done. Thank you, Bert. I also love Sandy and Darla. I have no problems with them either.
Anybody else? All right, well, then we'll close public. Oh, wait, you got up.
All right, the situation with the carport, everybody knows it's mine.
State your name.
I'm Larry Truex.
Okay.
I messed up and bought a house, and now I'm getting attacked for it. And I've got my second born is 4 days old. I should be at home with him right now, but I've got to deal with this. Anybody that drives by the house can tell that the neighbors, Miss Linda Durham, their house is 2 foot above my house. And there's no way I'm flooding their house out. So after this civil court issue, I hope that y'all can look at that and tell that I'm not flooding them out, that me and Jack and Sally were getting the buddy under the water. So maybe that we can do something to disperse the water, move it somewhere else. I don't know what we can do on that, but it's not a carport that's causing their flood. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Laramie. All right, anybody else? All right, okay. I'm going to close public comments. We're going to go to the next item on the agenda, which is a resolution between ATMOS City Steering Committee and ATMOS Energy Corp. Mid-Tex Division regarding the company's 2023 rate review mechanism filing. This is something that Bert tells you every year. We belong to an organization that does the negotiations for us. So if you have any questions, he can direct you.
This is just a standard agreement between the city and not just the city of Bowie, but I think there's 30 or 40 cities, and we hire attorneys to, when the ATMOS does a rate case, and Encore, we don't have to do that, but it's the same organization, and they do the negotiations, and typically they negotiate with ATMOS Energy and negotiate the rates down from what they are. They have experts that look at the rate base and see what's in them and make that decision for us. So usually we can pretty much bank on whatever they recommend we do, and I recommend that we do the resolution for that.
Any questions about this?
What is this resolution? Are we talking about the rate, or are we just talking about them
You talk about the
negotiating on
rate.
our behalf?
This is the rate, this is the rate
Okay.
case, and they're recommending that we accept what they've negotiated for us, and that's a normal procedure. I could go into a long story about how we used to do this at the city, but Margin can probably tell you that we used to have to do our own rate cases, then we had to depend on our own selves when we didn't know anything about rates. We didn't know anything about rate bases, and I got into an argument one time with a Lone Star Gas, which was the predecessor to ATMOS Energy, because I requested. These people can get the information from ATMOS Energy that they need in order to argue the rate base, so.
And this has nothing to do with our budget. This doesn't have anything to do with us within our budgeting.
Basically, we're just approving what they're gonna, how much they're gonna raise the rates to the citizens, so.
7%. Is that right?
I don't recall the percentage. I saw the rate.
I'm guessing
pulled-
that's really just out of our hands, right? There's
It
nothing we can
really
do about
is.
that.
There's nothing we can do about this. We approve it or not approve it. But we don't have any control over their
It's my
billing.
understanding, Brent, it's gonna take place, I mean,
Yeah.
we're partner with them, though, as far as this goes, we're trying to get things, because they're using this to continue their proper infrastructure and things, and they're trying to keep the rate down as low as they possibly can,
Sure,
so this is
I'm all
what
about it.
so,
Well, and the glory of it is they do this once a year. So if we approve this resolution, they're locked in.
Right.
So they're locked in for a year with us. So I would entertain a motion to accept the resolution between ATMOS City Steering Committee and ATMOS Energy Corp.
so moved.
Gunner, do I have a second?
A second.
Bates? Shaw?
Aye.
Gunner?
Aye.
Love? Bates?
Aye.
Post?
Aye.
Sproles?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so that leaves one item on the agenda, but I've been requested to go into executive session before we talk about the city budget. So we will pause here at 6:42. We will go into executive session. Do what? Who did?
I don't know.
so we're back in at, did we go out at a certain time? Okay, we came back in at 7:59. Oh, all right, so let's go back to ordinance 5. Let's go back to number 5 for ordinance for 2023. An ordinance adopting an annual budget for the City of Bowie for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024, adopting a reference document as said budget and establishing appropriations for various activities and functions of the city, establishing an effective date and repealing all ordinances and regulations in conflict herewith. Let me get to my page before y'all start.
Do we need to ask for action on the executive session?
We're going to. We're going to do the budget first. You take the vote. So I'll call for a motion. I will entertain a motion to accept the budget as presented.
So moved.
Love, second?
Second.
Post?
Shaw.
I think we've exhausted all the questions and drug all the numbers out, and this is the budget we're going to work with for this year. So I appreciate everybody's hard work on it and cost-saving measures. So I vote yes.
Gunner.
Yes.
Love.
Aye.
Bates.
Aye.
Post.
Aye.
Sproles.
Aye.
All right, now we're going to action following the executive session on number 1, employment evaluation duties of the municipal judge. Do we have a motion or action?
I make a motion, no action is taken.
Is that how that's what presented?
Take a motion.
He
What?
wants no action.
Still the same thing.
So we said.
No action.
No action. Number 2, employment evaluation the duties of the city secretary.
Wait a minute. We didn't get a
Oh, we have to go with a full vote?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. Let's go back. Gunner moved. Who's the second on the judge?
Second.
Bates? Shaw?
What are we doing?
No action.
So why don't we just say nothing?
It got moved, so it got moved.
Yes? We're taking action,
No,
take
we're
no
not
action?
Or is it no, no action?
Taking an action
What is
is on
it?
no action.
You're just not supposed to say that.
So, Shaw,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, hang on a second.
I'd like to modify the motion to
Yeah,
no motion.
I'll modify it myself.
well then, there should have been no motion.
Okay, I got it.
Rescind your
I got it.
motion.
I'm going to if you give
Okay.
me a chance here. Based on our conversation in the deal, I rescind my motion at this time.
All right, number 2, employment evaluations of the city, duties of the city secretary. No action. Number 3, employment evaluation and duties of the city manager. No action. All right. With that, it ends our meeting tonight at 8:02. Thank you for coming.
It's totally confusing. I said, y'all did that backwards.